Okay, next we're going to take a look at the engine compartment, and we're going to do basic maintenance on the engine itself, the throttle linkage. We're going to check the oil, we're going to check the gas, we're going to check the chain drive, make sure everything's lubed up. One of the major problems that you'll run into is that this chain right here, if it's not lubed properly with all the moisture and the salt falling down on it, can rust up solid. Now I feel there's grease on here, however what we're going to do is we're going to make sure it's been oiled up and lubed very well. Additionally, this linkage up in here for the throttle can become rusted up solid, so we need to make sure everything is moving, and before we finally get this engine put to rest, we have to maintain the chain underneath, so it's better to have the engine running and we can engage the clutch and so on, so the chain can be moved and we can lube that, and once that's all done, then we're going to run the engine dry. Okay, we're doing some general look over on the motor, and obviously one of the main concerns is that we want it to start the next time. So we want to make sure that the connections are not all corroded and white. We also want to make sure that the connection on the from the battery, the ground loop, is not rusted, and that it actually is not corroding as well. We're looking at any electrical connection to make sure that it's not rusted solid. What we do is we spray like a lubrication, like a battery covering grease, and we spray each connection so that it can actually be loosened. As you can see, ours are in pretty good shape. They're not corroded or anything like that. The next step is to look at all the connections between the motor, the throttle motor, and make sure that they're not corroded as well. The next thing we're going to do here is just test the throttle motor. See what we got for throttle movement. Okay, what we just heard there was a clutch engaged. Alright, go the other way. Okay, everything appears to be moving. Most important is the choke. Make sure that moves. What we're going to do is still spray each linkage. We're going to grab some WD-40 or a silicone lubricant, and we're going to spray each linkage to make sure it's ready to go next season. Okay, what we're doing is spraying each movable linkage in the governor mechanism, and basically what we have is a throttle. Actually, this is the choke right here. Back here's the throttle, and then we're going to lube up this track here. As you saw before, everything was moving pretty well, but we want to make sure that everything is still moving. One final check is to make sure that the recoil actually is coming back. If it's giving any trouble, then you're going to have to try to spray some lube up inside there. That's one way. But the other way is to actually remove this whole cover. Actually, on this one you don't have to. You can remove just these little bolts, and then you can spray some lube in there and make sure the whole thing's spinning well.